I've spent a lot of money on Pokemon games for this channel. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. I dropped $250 at GameStop on 3DS games, twice. I bought a pair of Pearl copies that were outrageously overpriced, bid $200 on a copy of Emerald that didn't work.
What the fuck is that?
I even purchased a guy's entire Nintendo Switch off eBay just so I could see his BDSP save file for a 60-second video. So I've gathered all $1,500 worth of used games seen on my channel and the save files on them to not only relive their glory days, but determine who is the undisputed greatest of all save files. And if you want to help heal the bullet wound this has left in my wallet, subscribe. Please. We're gonna start this video off with a banger. Scott! I bought this copy of Pearl in my first ever used game haul and popped it into my DS right there in the parking lot to make sure GameStop doesn't delete save files. Scott spent 12 hours trading for all the Sinnoh starters, but only got one gym badge. He saved right outside Valley Windworks, so it looks like he lost to Marza's Per Ugly, gave up, and sold the game. Also, his Turtwig's OT was cock. My reaction to this is my most viewed video on my YouTube and TikTok. It started a new wave of save file content. Fucking Dexerto wrote about it. If I would have picked any other game to open first, only Arceus knows what my YouTube channel would look like right now. On paper, this save file is pretty bad, but you have to respect Scott for what he's done for all of us. This game was a part of a random 4-pack I got off eBay. Adrian played Fire Red for a short 7 hours, but still got more badges than Scott. He had some of the best nicknames I've ever seen. Gary the Gyarados and Lizzie the Lizard. It looks like he had big dreams of doing a living dex because their boxes are sorted by Pokedex number, but they only got 10 Pokemon into it. The real shame here is that Gary was adamant, which is probably the best nature it can get. So Adrian was gonna have a free ride through Kanto, but just couldn't be bothered to actually play the game. At least he tried, I guess. He got grounded. Adrian's mom took the game away and was like, "You are not completing that Pokedex, young man." Coming from the big GameStop haul is Justin. He had 90 hours played and beat the game using a Noivern named Kill. Even better though, it still knew Tackle when he beat Steven. That is so metal. This save is a little sus though because bro had money. Sheesh. Also, he had 900 of every Pokeball. Unfortunately, he transferred literally everything out of his boxes, so we can't see what kind of fucked up hacked Pokemon he created. I don't mean to start any drama, but I've seen a ton of save file videos where they find all these shiny level 1 legendaries. In the $1,500 I've spent on used Pokemon games, this is the only save file I've found that was 100% hacked, and they didn't even leave anything on it. So take that as you will. Justin though left behind nothing but scorched earth. I buy your game for $60, you don't even let me meet Kill the Noivern. This is another GBA game from the same 4-pack as Adrian. Maybe they were brothers or something? Israel here is our first true gamer. Had over 100 hours in his save, beat the champion, even did a bunch of stuff using the link cable, which is probably the most impressive thing I've seen on these save files. If your first Pokemon game was on the 3DS or Switch, you might not know how much of a pain in the ass it was to play with friends back in the day. His boxes are full of cool Pokemon he traded for, but I don't want to gas him up too much because he did something dastardly. He beat the game with not 1, not 2, but 3 legendaries on his team. You know you're not supposed to do that. You know everybody's gonna make fun of you if you got legendaries on your team. Also, how did he trade over 100 times and still have a Haunter on his team? Guess he didn't trust his homies to send it back to him after it evolved?
Thanks for the Gengar, loser!
For having triple-digit hours and actually using the GBA like it was intended, Israel is one of the GOATs. This is going to be the only Switch save file we look at today because they're almost impossible to get. Game Boy and DS Pokemon games keep the save files on their cartridge, but the Switch keeps your saves on the console itself. So if you want to see what the last person who had the game was doing,
You have to buy the whole goddamn Switch.
and no, you can't put saves on an SD card like so many people thought in the YouTube Shorts comments. You've literally never been able to do that in any Pokemon game without hacking. I booted this one time for a video. I never turned it back on again. Buying an entire Switch Lite for one save file isn't even the worst part here. After playing around on the save for a video, I realized something that should only happen in nightmares. Wait. JJ never connected his Switch to the internet, which means he never got the day 1 update for BDSP, which means that he had the unfinished placeholder music that sounds like this. There is a whole bunch of shit missing if you don't download the day one patch, which takes BDSP from the worst Pokemon game of all time to probably one of the worst Switch games of all time. It's no wonder JJ sold this entire thing after 4 gyms. But what's still a mystery is, why do I do this to myself? There's literally nothing else on it. This guy played no other games. There's no screenshots. There's no nothing. This guy bought a brand new Switch because he wanted to play BDSP, got 10 hours in, and sold the whole fucking thing. That is the saddest shit I have ever heard of. This save reminded me that, oh yeah, Sun and Moon doesn't have gyms, so I have no idea how far 6 Z crystals is into the game. T-Man did have an unremarkable playthrough though, outside of catching 4 Mankeys, but I will say that having a Drowsy on your playthrough team is sus. Okay, you need to strap into your chair for this save because I'm not joking, it has taken years to understand what happened here. When I bought this from GameStop and opened it, I immediately thought Michael was a hacker.
Whoa! Oh my goodness! 1,000 hours?
He had the max amount of time X will keep track of, a Hall of Fame team full of competitive threats, and a Pokedex filled with shiny legendaries. But since everything was transferred out of the boxes, I couldn't check their OTs or stats to confirm if they were hacked. So I made a YouTube short about it in 2022, where people argued back and forth in the comments if Michael cheated. But now in 2025, when I was recording footage for this video, I found something insane. Pokemon Bank doesn't let you transfer eggs, so there's some random ones scattered around these boxes. And something I never checked was the date they were received. Michael had eggs from the start of his adventure in 2014 all the way through 2021, with the last date being right before I bought it at GameStop. Now, some people said the dates could be wrong because he might have been an Animal Crossing time traveler, but since the dates never went into the future, I think they might be real. It's impossible to know for sure what happened here, but the evidence suggests Michael was not just a gamer, but the gamer. The cartridge still looks like he sucked on it though.
Oh! Oh, what the? How do you even do?
Like chew on it?
That's horrifying.
Alright, so on the surface, this save seems pretty normal. Danny beat the game with some usual Gen 3 suspects, caught Kyogre but left it in the box like a real Pokemon fan, and even started doing some post-game stuff. But I have major beef with Danny because of where he saved, right in front of Regirock. I saw this and believed that Danny was trying to reset his game to find a shiny legendary. But it looks like he just gave up and sold the game, which makes sense because Sapphire is one of the hardest games to find a shiny in. So when I bought these games in July 2024, I started shiny hunting for Regirock. 7 months went by until I found it, over odds by about 1,000 encounters. And when I tried to catch it, well, I just happened to remember that,
No, wait. I thought he had a Master Ball. He has like 3 Ultra Balls. Please, please, man. Danny, no! No!
I would like to think this person is named after the guy from Metal Gear that punches the president, but my live stream chat said it was probably Sword Titty Lady from Anime Phone Game. Sure, Raiden didn't beat the game, or even get that far really, but the nicknames were peak. Birdman the Trumbeak, Maya the Dog, the Growlithe, Nasty the Grimer, and Kitty Cat the Incineroar. I do have some bad news though. Not only is Kitty Cat here holding the Silk Scarf and doesn't have any normal type moves, this Pikachu has 4 electric type moves and is holding the Normalium Z. Pikachu with 4 electric type moves is comedy enough, but for it to then be holding the Normalium Z? Cinema. When Game Freak is making Pokemon games, this is the target audience. Yes, you're reading that correctly. I bought this off eBay for a video where I looked for scam Pokemon games, and oh boy, was I successful. Now, the game itself is fine. It's just basically Gen 5 with a Alolan Pokemon slammed in there. The issue is that the people who made this ROM hack did not sell this online to me for $30. The devs commented on the last video that they didn't make this, and also, it's not even the most recent update for the game. To the person in China who 3D printed this, I hope you're happy. Jimmy's save here was pretty tame. He beat the game right before Flannery's gym, which was honestly a good call because they were gonna get their ass beat if they used this team. The funny part is the last thing they did was save right in front of Lynette here. She's supposed to tell you she made the Pokemon box system and then just leave, but if you walk in the Pokemon Center, she is in fact camping in front of the PC, so you can't use it. So it seems like this guy was like, what the fuck, why can't I see my Pokemon? And then sold the game? I don't know. I'm just gonna pen him in as possible misogynist. lost and move on. He did not accept her apology. It's Pokemon Peen, baby. I think Kevin on Pokemon Peen might just be my favorite save file. While others played for tens or even hundreds of hours trying to catch cool Pokemon and do link battles, Kevin speedran this shit and did absolutely nothing after beating Cynthia. His Hall of Fame had 3 starters, a trade evolution, and the box legendary. His Charizard was way higher level than the rest of the team, so you know he was just spamming that shit. And best of all, its moveset was Blast Burn, Flare Blitz, Flamethrower, and Fly. He had barely any Pokemon in his boxes, but one of which was this Blastoise with the OT dick ass, and it had 4 HMs. I don't know, man. Something about this save file makes me feel like it's the most base thing I've ever seen. This is truly playing Pokemon the way Arceus intended. Lil Y might as well be a convicted criminal because of what he did in this save file. He only got 6 gym badges before transferring Pokemon out and selling the game, which makes him a monster right off the bat. We're almost done at that point. He's at 6 badges and he transfers everything out. He didn't even see Yveltal yet, and he's transferring things out. Come on, man. But the real atrocity is that he didn't transfer all his Pokemon. He left some stragglers behind, and the one that sealed Lil Y's special place in hell is in this box right here. It's labeled level 100, but has 1 Pokemon in it. A level 18 Rhyhorn. Not only did Lil Y tease this Rhyhorn with a promise of evolving him. Dude, I just noticed the Rhyhorn's nature is lonely. Oh, that's so sad. The Rhyhorn, no! What the fuck? How did you do this, Lil Y? You had my respect. It's all gone. This poor Rhyhorn, man. Lil Y, you disgust me. Brian is going to be the shortest review here. I don't know how many badges Brian had or what Pokemon he beat the champion with, because when I put it into my Game Boy, it freezes and makes this awful screen that makes me feel like I'm in a creepypasta. I tried this one again today. It's still freezing my Game Boy. It has not worked not one time. You guys wanted me to try to clean it out and save Brian, but I don't trust myself to not just destroy it for good. I'm not gonna get down and dirty with Brian here just to find out he has like 5 badges or something, man. But since I spent $200 on it, maybe I should give it a try. This save shows the awful pacing Gen 6 has. 1 gym badge in 15 hours is crazy. Juju also had an insane team before even getting to the 2nd gym, but the Pokemon my stream chat took a liking to is this Litleo. I made a joke that he probably fell asleep while writing this thing's name because of how slow these games are. Gen 6 was too hard, more like Gen 6 is too boring. He's on his DS naming Litleo just... But my chat had another theory on why some of them never beat the game. Speak on that. What's your theory? Some of the comments are like, yo, what if their mom needed to pay for rent, so they took the game to GameStop to sell it? I'm like, yeah, she paid for rent with $30 of GameStop gift cards. They died. Yes, maybe Jimmy fucking died before he could beat the 3rd gym. There's a good chance, I guess. He can't get 6 badges because he's 6 feet under. I'm just saying, if I croaked, I would hope my mom didn't take my shit to GameStop to get some in-store credit, man. That'd be a little disrespectful. She's like, oh, dude, I really did want to get Breath of the Wild, though, so might as well sell his games. Juju maybe would have beaten the game if they didn't die, huh? Imagine you die and your legacy is dick ass the... Cade is a special one here because we got 2 games for the price of 2 games. Well, actually, they're a little more expensive, so maybe 2 games for the price of 3 games. But yeah, you get the point. I bought all these from GameStop a couple years ago. Somebody must have sold their whole collection. And we have Cade, who was playing Omega Ruby and Moon version. It looks like Cade was enjoying Omega Ruby, cooking on the way to fight Maxie and the baddies, and then stopped and started playing Moon instead. This is monster behavior, if you ask me. It's fair to flush a game to start a new one, but like on gym number 7, bro, just finish the game. And even though he played Moon to completion after, he didn't leave anything behind for us to check out, except for Zygarde for some reason. There's 0 Pokemon in here except for Zygarde, which is a really funny Pokemon to leave behind. This is in Moon, so he was collecting the little sperm cells or whatever the hell they are. He had to pick up like 100 of them to get the snake Zygarde. Kind of beast, to be honest. Fuck fetch quests in Pokemon. Cade, between 2 games, you left 1 Pokemon. Our final game of the day is Levi, potentially the biggest gamer of them all. He started this save in 2009, around the same time I was playing Pearl for the first time myself. He even beat the game with 2 Palkios, which is what I did for the Cynthia fight, but with Giratina from my copy of Platinum I got a few years later. The memes that Cynthia is really hard, you know, I love him as much as the next guy, but this is ridiculous. 4 legendaries, 2 of which being the guy on the box, is pretty shameful, I'll say. 3 out of 6 of these Pokemon are shit, by the way, which is probably why he was actually having trouble. This is also the save file that had a 15-year-old Riolu egg.
Okay. What if it was shiny, bro? Come on, for the people.
Wait.
Rio hatched from the egg.
I hatched it to let the little guy breathe, and honestly, I might be the only person on YouTube who's been able to do something like that. It's pretty wild. Levi had a ton of legendaries and rare Pokemon that he either transferred up from his old games or traded with other people for. It looks like he had an honest, full playthrough of Sinnoh, and looking through this save really hit me with the nostalgia blast from a simpler time. Because of all of this, I think Levi deserves nothing less than the GOAT tier. What's that? Oh. Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. Guys, I just got word from the producers that this Venusaur's OT is a slur. So that disqualifies you from the GOAT tier. We're gonna have to take this down a notch. Maybe even down here. That's not a good look, Levi. Let's not do that.